All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're tackling the rigid PVC conduit rules straight from the 2024 Canadian Electrical Code. Look, if you're a first or second year apprentice prepping for that Red Seal exam, or maybe you just want to bulletproof your knowledge for the job site, you are exactly where you need to be. I'm going to be your coach today, and we're going to take that dense, sometimes confusing codebook language and translate it into plain, everyday electrician talk. We're going to figure out the actual why behind the rules.
Here's our roadmap for today's Tool Crib study session. We'll quickly cover intro and code navigation, jump into installation and support rules, tackle expansion and repairs, run through some Red Seal practice questions, give you the ultimate cheat sheet, and wrap up with today's main takeaways.
Okay, Section 1, Intro and Code Navigation, covering Rules 12-1100 to 12-1104. Let's see exactly where we can and cannot run this pipe.
So Rule 12-1100 is actually pretty generous. It allows rigid PVC almost everywhere. You can run it exposed, concealed, below ground. Heck, you could even run it straight into cinders or cinder concrete without needing any extra grouting. But Rule 12-1102, that one draws an absolute hard line. It strictly forbids PVC inside thermal insulation. Why? Well, think about it. Wire generates heat, right? Thermal insulation traps that heat. If you bury a plastic pipe inside insulation, that heat has literally nowhere to go, and your conduit is going to absolutely cook.
And speaking of heat, Rule 12104 gives us a magic number you have to remember, 75. That is 75 degrees Celsius, and it's your maximum ambient temperature limit, period. PVC is plastic. It melts, it deforms under pressure and heat. So if you're running pipe in a boiler room or maybe across a blazing hot commercial roof in the middle of July, you have to keep this limit in mind. Now, you totally can pull 90-degree rated wire through it, but the code is super clear that you still must base your ampacity calculations on the 75-degree column. Bottom line, never let the pipe itself get hotter than 75 degrees.
Moving right along to Section 2, Installation and Support Rules, hitting Rules 12-106 to 12-1116. All right, when you actually have your tools out, Rule 12-1112 is completely non-negotiable. Never, ever thread your PVC. Honestly, I don't care what kind of dye you've got sitting in the truck. Threading cuts right into the wall thickness of the plastic, which weakens the pipe and completely destroys its structural integrity. If you need to tie into a metal box or an enclosure, the code specifically requires you to use a female PVC adapter and a threaded metal nipple. For everything else, put it together using approved solvent cement. Basically, glue it, don't screw it.
Now let's talk strapping. Rule 12-1114 dictates your maximum support spacing. When you're strapping pipe to a wall, your spacing depends on the size of the conduit. Smaller pipe needs closer straps. So a standard 21 trade size, your typical half-inch pipe, needs a strap every 750 millimeters. But listen up, because here is a massive field tip and a classic Red Seal trap. If you run mixed sizes together in a group, let's say a 21 and a 53, you must space all your supports based on the smallest conduit in the run. Oh, and one more thing. Unless it's encased in concrete, don't clamp it down so tight that it can't move. It actually needs room to expand and contract.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, Expansion, Bonding, and Repairs, covering Rules 12-1118 to 12-1124. Let's talk troubleshooting. Let's look at the breathing bridge rule. Rule 12-1118 requires an expansion joint if your conduit's expansion is going to exceed 45 millimeters due to temperature swings. The only exception is if it's fully grouted in concrete. Think about our wild Canadian weather. We can go from -30 in the dead of winter to +30 in the summer. That is a massive swing, and PVC expands and contracts a lot more than steel does. If you don't calculate for that 45 millimeter threshold and put an expansion joint in, your pipe is going to buckle, it's going to snap your straps right off the wall, or to literally rip itself out of your boxes. Next is Rule 12-1222. Now this should be common sense on the site, but it's absolutely vital for safety. PVC is plastic. It does not conduct electricity. Because of that, you can never, ever rely on the raceway itself for your ground path, like you might when you're running EMT. You have to pull a separate bonding conductor inside every single rigid PVC run. There is exactly one exception to this. If you're using it as a consumer's service raceway strictly between the service head and the meter. For literally everywhere else, pull that bond wire.
So what do we do when things go wrong? Under Rule 12-1124, you can actually execute a perfect field repair. Let's say an excavator clips your buried pipe, or some guy on a forklift smashes an exposed run. The code actually lets you use split straight conduit to fix it, so you can protect the wire inside without ripping the entire run out. Step 1, make sure the split halves are notched and grooved to match up perfectly. Step 2, glue it up with PVC solvent cement. And Step 3, pay attention, this is highly testable. Clamp it tightly with non-removable stainless steel bands, spaced no more than 500 millimeters apart.
All right, Section 4. Listen up, apprentices. It is time to shift from the field to the exam room for some Red Seal practice questions. Let's see if you can dodge some common traps. Question 1. Think back to Rule 112-124 we just went over. When fixing a damaged pipe with split conduit, what's the maximum spacing for those stainless bands? The correct answer is 500 millimeters. Now, on the exam, they are absolutely going to try to trick you with 750 millimeters, hoping you'll confuse it with the standard pipe strapping distance. Don't fall for it. Repair bands are a maximum of 500 millimeters apart to make sure those glued grooves hold together permanently. Question 2. This tests your ability to apply Rule 12-1114 in a real-world scenario. You've got a 21, a 53, and a 103 trade-size pipe grouped together. Do you average out the distances? Absolutely not. Remember the rule. You must always support the entire group based on the smallest pipe in the run. Trade size 21 requires a support every 750 millimeters. Therefore, 750 millimeters is the only correct answer here.
Section 5. We're in the home stretch with our ultimate exam cheat sheet. Seriously, grab a screenshot of this tool crib study guide right now to lock these concepts in before your exam.
If you see a PVC question on the Red Seal exam, this is your automatic mental checklist. 75 degrees Celsius maximum. Absolutely no running it inside thermal insulation. 0 threading allowed. Adapters only. Mixed support runs always default to the smallest conduit. You must install an expansion joint if the pipe is going to expand more than 45 millimeters. And finally, you always pull a separate bond wire because plastic doesn't conduct. Lock these in. Section 6. Let's wrap up this explainer with today's Red Seal takeaways, the absolute must-knows. Here are the big 3 takeaways. Number 1, PVC melts, so respect that 75-degree temperature limit. Number 2, the breathing bridge. Always calculate your temperature swings and allow for that 45mm expansion breathing room. And number 3, repair it right. Fix your damage strictly with notched split conduit, solvent cement, and those 500mm spaced stainless clamps.
Because at the end of the day, mastering these code rules isn't just about getting a good grade or checking a box on an exam. It is about building safe, breathing infrastructure that actually stands the test of time and extreme temperatures on our Canadian job sites. So, next time you're pulling pipe, ask yourself, is this installation going to breathe or is it going to break? Thanks for studying with me. If you found this lesson helpful, please like, subscribe, and comment with the next CEC topic you'd like to learn. Keep studying, stay safe, and good luck on your Red Seal journey.